things are something I sure enjoy. So,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to go ahead and start a little bit. Guest speakers coming. I'm not going to spoil it, but I can tell you Daryl Fest is going to be our guest speaker 2 weeks from today. And you need to put that on your calendars because he's got a bunch of new fans. There's a bunch of new regulations. And I'm going to cover just a little bit of that today, but I'm going to leave some of the details for him too. And I'm going to be sending out constant contacts. I should say Ben is, so that we can get more educated about it. But we're in a new requirement time. But before I started that, I wanted to also say, yeah, hey, thanks for last year. Really appreciate it. The Festa organization, of course, is number one sales, number one distributor. But this Festa organization was up 15%. We're up considerably, and it's all because of you. Well, really appreciate that. But remember that January is what we refer to as Customer Appreciation Month. So all of our customers get a free manometer with every fan purchase. So it's kind of a good deal. I mean, I have people that buy pallets full of fans because if you do the math at $7.50 for a manometer, it can get up to quite a bit of money. So anyway, Appreciation Month, the entire month of January, and January is our number one month. And I'm going to be reading a little bit here, but if you're considering being a customer, at least call me. We'll see if we can make you some kind of a similar deal. If you're serious about being a customer, now's the month to do it. And once again, we got some really good special speakers coming, but put it on your calendar that Daryl Fest is one of them. And I'm going to go right into this whole thing about fans because I think it's one of the biggest things to hit the industry in many years. That's my opinion and Daryl Festus' opinion. So I'm going to mostly read from some of the constant contacts that he's been covering. This year, a significant change was made in the electrical safety requirements affecting radon fans. A lot of you heard a little bit of this going on, but the National Electric Code has changed, and manufacturers have globally struggled. This is, I'm reading from it, globally struggled to accommodate this new standard. A secondary thermal protection is required on all fans that go in attics. They call that I get a kick out of this because language seems to want to change, but um, in unattended areas, I like the word unattended, but unattended in the electrical code book in reference to this is in attics. So, in other words, if they're in basements like our friends in Alaska and Canada, they're okay. If they're outdoors, they're okay to use the existing fan. But you can no longer use the existing fan in attics because that is I can't seem to remember that word. What did I just say, Ben? In unattended areas.
Unattended. Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of
Yeah,
when I read it
what a
was
word. But anyway, so that law has been in effect since November 30th. But what it said was any motors manufactured after November 30th. So I think the manufacturers did a whole bunch of manufacturing to buy them some time. Well, Festa has an answer that he's extremely excited about. I'm going to read just a little bit about it. And then we're going to cover more of that. We're going to cover more of that with constant contacts. We're going to have Daryl Festa himself sit here and give you information on it. But it's exciting, and I'll tell you a little bit about why it's exciting. Um, the the uh, uh, the the industry says only 25% of the fans are put in attics, 25%. So probably 20%. But remember, new construction passive. That's a good example of when you have to use a different fan. You're not going to be able to use the existing fans anymore. As a matter of fact, the existing fans will still exist in our organization, but they will have to be labeled not for, there's a label on them, I think, not for, what's the word, Ben? Isn't it funny how easy it is to forget that word?
I forgot it.
Oh, it's just a word that doesn't seem to fit in uncontrolled area or whatever it is, but they're going to be labeled actually uh, to explain these things can't be used in attics. So a little bit about Daryl Festa has worked with Intertech to certify his standard fans for the year, which has to be renewed every year, I believe. And they're in basements and outdoors where 80% of the installs occur. And these same fans and motors have been safely installed in attics for 30 years, but the change to the standard is there anyway. The change to the standard is for protection for two thermal overloads. So if got a fan that's locked up and overheating and the first overload should happen to fail, the idea is a second overload. And as I touched on earlier, it seems to have been a very difficult challenge for the industry to work with. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about the solutions, just enough that you guys are all going to call me tomorrow morning wanting more details, and I'm going to hang up my phone so it doesn't ring. But there's going to be an entire line with the Festa organizations of EC fans, and an EC fan. I love this when I said, okay, now what is an EC fan? But EC fan is an electronically controlled fan. The EC actually stands for just that, electronically controlled. There's another word in that I'd love to.
Did you say the definition was, or the word was uncontrolled space?
Yes, I think it is.
Unattended.
Let me look that back up.
Yeah, because uncontrolled doesn't come up in their definitions.
It should be.
I think it's unattended.
Oh, if I could spell, I could get it. What the heck?
I just picture somebody sitting with a chair pulled up to the fan, smoking a cigarette, drinking some whiskey, attending the fan 24/7, making sure that it's.
I think it kind of. Not all rules have to make sense, as we all know, but let me go back to this first page.
So,
A significant change has been made in requirements affecting the second thermal overload protection. We partnered with Intertech to certify our fans for installation in basement and outdoors where 80% of the installations occur. The same fans and motors, okay. Unattended areas. Somebody help me remember that. Unattended areas is the language used. So I got 3 minutes left.
but
But we're going to start sending things out, and I believe it'll probably be February when we run out of the old motors and these will be required. But it's an electronic, an EC motor that has already been approved for those areas, and these EC motors are going to have a 7-year warranty. Vesta is so confident in the technology that it's going to be a 7-year warranty. And I'm impressed. That's 40% more warranty than any radon fan has ever had in the industry. So I'm not sure of the price yet. He's still working on the price. We're talking about that. But it is a exciting product, and the details of how EC works opposed to AC are incredible too. It's a quieter fan. It's a more powerful fan. And because of the technology that makes it work, that's why he's so confident of extending the warranty, because the motor itself is a longer lasting motor. He compares it to corded tools to battery powered tools. In other words, we all use cords and drug around tools for a lot of our lives, us older guys. And then when corded tools come out, we might have fought it for a little while when cordless tools come out. But the first cordless drill you bought hooked you, and it was a little pricey, but it hooked you. And now we've got a cordless core drill that'll drill a 5-inch hole in a concrete floor in 5 minutes with a battery about as big as my riding mower's battery. But the point of the matter is, He believes that EC technology is the future of radon fans, and that it is similar to comparing battery powered tools to corded tools. I personally don't ever want to buy anything with a cord again. I'm giving away my tools with cords. But he has developed an entire line of these fans so that you can either switch to them depending on what it's worth to you to have an extended warranty, a quieter product, and a better performing product, and a speed control product, or uh, or you can stay with the standard fan in all applications except what's the word?
Unattended.
Unaccessible.
Unattended areas. I can forget that word so easily because it makes no sense. I guess what I'm saying is you'd think they could have come up with a better word. Uh, and also, I got one other thing, and then I've got somebody knocking on the door already. Um, I was going to tell you what EC actually meant, but it is an electronically controlled motor that is that works different than AC does. But because of the way it works, it's quieter, more efficient, and less energy, a lot less energy. So I got to go, folks. So I said I would just do a teaser today, and then we'll start sending some things out to you. And my guess is around February 1st, we may be, I can only speak for Festa, but we may be out of the AC fans that you use for years in terms of meeting the attic requirements. And the new fans, as I said, will be labeled not for, what's the word?
Unattended.
Unattended areas. And it'll actually be a label on the fan.
And
So,
EC actually stands for electronically commutated.
commutated. I was going to tell everybody, I lost my little note. I actually looked up how you pronounced that word so I wouldn't look too dumb. And I also looked up the definition of it, but it's electronically commutated, which in a sense means nothing to us other than it operates totally different than AC. Actually, the opposite. It's more of a DC operation. Uh, Wave of the future. I know it's the wave of the future. Fester knows it's the wave of the future. I hope our wallets can control the wave of the future. That part I don't know yet, but you will be getting that information, and you'll be getting that information by 2 weeks from today. So I've got to go. Third time I knock on my door. Ben's going to take over, and I can't wait to get these things started again. I'll see you next Wednesday.
All right, so Dave's bouncing. We knew that he was had an appointment to get to today. Hey, thumbs up. Can you hear me in Zoom? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. It's not grabbing my microphone the right way, so just want to make sure. And if anybody's over on Facebook or YouTube, if you can hear me, let me know. If you've got questions about the fans, throw them in the chat. Throw them in the. Go ahead and just let us know. We'll make a list for Daryl coming in a couple weeks. I know that the I don't know how many of you follow Inspector AJ on all of his different. He's a home inspector. He's on all the different social media channels. I just saw a video that I shared with my wife because obviously she's got as a real estate agent the electrical code for 2025. You can't have an outlet on the side of your kitchen islands anymore. So where everyone on the planet plugs in a mixer or toaster or whatever else, they have outlawed that. It either needs to be on top of the island or back on the backsplash. And, obviously all the comments were, so leave it unwired so it passes inspection with a blank plate over it. It's insanity because I realize that means they don't want somebody, kids were going and pulling on the cords and pulling a mixer onto their head or whatever. But Now you're going to have people that are running an extension cord completely across the kitchen, and it becomes like it's cutting off your nose to spite your face, right? And so when he told me about the unattended space thing, I thought, well, that's clearly it's the same thinking. Like, we're going to put this up there, and
So,
yeah,
so you said attic space. That's above your head. What about the crawl space under your feet?
not attended. Yep.
That's
I
where we
mean,
put all our fans.
and this
Most.
all comes down to obviously reading the law. The wording of the law is having it using a word like unattended. I'm making the argument that I might not go down to my basement for weeks at a time. That's not attended, right? And so it's kind of like my father-in-law's favorite thing to when talking about the semantics of a word, always about the president of the United States has to be a natural born citizen. And so he said, in theory, no one born by C-section could ever be president of the United States. And so, like, when you start thinking about the way these words are written, they're so vague that it's, and obviously it's going to be, people turning other people. And what I mean, it'll be the home inspection, right? And later down the road. And then that's, I don't know if there's going to be a thing that goes back and the home inspector goes back and turns in the company that has their sticker on the side of the radon fan. Yeah. So hopefully what Daryl's got cooking, and what the other fan manufacturers are willing and able to do to roll with the punches here. It kind of is what it is. So hopefully it means that everything is good soon. But yeah, I do know that it's all the fans that had to be manufactured before the end of November. They certainly upped production, but I know that with David, those of you that are jumping in on Facebook, YouTube late, reminder: if you do buy your fans from David Smith Radon during the month of January, you get a free manometer with every fan. So this is a time when a lot of fans are sold. So it seems like it's going to burn through a lot of that stock pretty quick. So we'll see. So I don't have any question or any answers on that. I just found out about it on Monday as well. He forwarded me Daryl's email, and so we'll try to keep you guys as updated on that as we possibly can, and go from there. So we are back. It's 2025. A lot of us didn't think that this year would ever come, and so it's here. And so now we got to figure out what to do with it. I'm going to try to flip this over to, that should show. There you go. So those of you in Zoom should be able to see my screen. If you're over at Facebook or YouTube, that you've got the same feed there. We as we're looking at 2025, one of the things we did mid-year last year, we talked about doing some goal setting. This is kind of an extension of that, with a few new things that I've been kind of working around in my head, things that I'm doing, and trying to make it a really, really great year for my business and for my family and things like that. And so we are now 8 days into 2025. They say that what is it? Quitting day for New Year's resolutions is the second Friday. So we're coming up on that second Friday. So if you've had some resolutions that you're already throwing away, hopefully you can maybe get some new ones here and really get intentional with what you're doing and how you're doing it. I think the first thing that you've got to do when looking at how you're going to thrive in 2025 is you got to take stock of what happened in 2024, right? Did you have goals that you had written down for 2024? Did you have things that you were trying to achieve, things that you wanted to happen, that you did or did not? Obviously, what are the things that you're proud of? What are the things that when you look back on 2024, you said, I wanted to do this and I did. This thing happened by accident and I'm glad it happened. This is something I didn't do that I didn't want to do. And then obviously, what are the things that you want to improve? What are those things that you know that you could have done better? Maybe you know what it was that kept that from happening. Maybe you know what the thing is that was the impediment in keeping it from happening. But you gotta know where you are and how you did. And this is, and we're going to talk about this. This is not necessarily just in your business, but I'm hoping that you're keeping really good. You know what your profit and loss was for 2024. You know how many days you took off for vacation. You know what happened if you ran out of product and you had to, you weren't able to take jobs for a week because you didn't get stuff. What are those things that you know that you need to adjust? So then obviously we're going to look at 2025, and as I mentioned, this is setting both business and personal goals. Like that is the thing we want you to look at is not just setting the goals for your business, but also personal goals. Personal goals might look like more time with family and friends. Like that is a great thing. If you say, hey, listen, I really poured into relationships with my family. I maybe you have adult children and you're not seeing them as often, or you're not having, tonight I picked up an extra ham around Christmas when they were super cheap. We're cooking it tonight, and my wife's like, let's have our family over. Right. So trying to be intentional with those things with family, and you're not promised tomorrow or even the rest of today. So making that intentional. Maybe it's just investing into a hobby that brings you some joy. I like to get up and woodworking in the garage is something that I really enjoy. Building things. We got our CNC. We've got a laser cutter. We've got things I like making stuff. I will spend an inappropriate amount of time selling a $30 item on Etsy. So dollar for dollar, the amount of money that I make on that $30, I'm losing money because I'm not sitting at my desk, but it gets me up and moving. It gets me, and then when I come back into my office, have a seat, I've got a clear head because I did something else. But what are those things that you can do that's part of that brings you some joy, right? Read books. All the different readers are leaders. Dave Ramsey always says, he's quoting somebody else, but where you are 5 years from now will be determined by the people you meet and the books that you read. So in ingesting that, and I say read, but you guys have a lot of windshield time. Throw an audio book in and knock some of that out. Listen to some podcasts that make you smarter. Do some things that are intentional to obviously make you a better person, better human, and fun too. You should enjoy fiction books as well. Improved health, right? What did you set a goal for last year and didn't hit it? Okay, well let's do that for this year as well. Maybe you want to pay off your debt. Maybe you want to increase savings in retirement. So maybe those are things that you want to set as part of your plan for this year. And so how are we going to make that happen? And maybe you want to volunteer more. Maybe you want to be, give back to your community. You want to be someone who can be counted on to do that kind of stuff. And I really think you should also treat yourself. So my Parks and Rec fans always have a treat yourself day. You should be doing all this stuff so that you are able to take care of yourself and buy that thing or get whatever that thing is with no guilt, right? You earned it. So, or, treat someone else, take care of somebody else. So on the personal side, you just want to know what you want. On the business side of things, if you weren't happy with your 2024, what are you changing, right? And if you were happy with 2024, what are you doing to repeat that success? So, I'm not going into the same type of, goal setting things that we talked about last year and all the things that you want to, okay, well, maybe you want to be faster to get to your leads. Maybe you want to do your jobs faster. Maybe you want to hire 3 new people, whatever that thing is, but really dig down into like, what are the things that you look back at last year and you go, yeah, no, last year was good. So I want to make sure that I'm replicating it. Here's the steps that I took to make sure. And also thinking about what are the things that could derail that? What would make it really easy to not have the same success? Okay. So I mentioned not having product, right? So making sure that you have your products on hand, making sure that you have an apprentice that you're always starting to train so that if you lost somebody, that person can step up, right? And then you don't have lost time because you're training. What are those things? Talking about things you're not happy with, maybe you just aren't happy with how much money you made, right? Maybe you want to make more money, or maybe you made too much money and you didn't take enough time off. And that's a business and personal thing. So combine those two things. So yeah, were you okay with 2024? We want to make sure that like, what are the things that made it good, made it bad, made it okay. A friend of mine does some training for businesses, and I'm stealing this from him. He calls it the 1% solution. We are in a business, whether it's the service that I provide, the service that you provide, we do. And you may hear this and you may shut your brain off after I say it because you're so convinced in the way that you sell things. It's fine. Just hear the second part. You do the same thing as everyone else, right? You technically provide the same service. So if you are a mitigator, then at the end of the job, you will have in theory mitigated their home from radon. If you are a radon tester, then in theory, at the end of the test, you have tested their home for radon. If you do both, for me, I build websites for people in the service industry, specifically radon pros. I do marketing. I do the results may be a little bit different on mine, and the results may be different on yours. Some of you are just trying to get it down below 4. Some of you are trying to get it to undetectable numbers. The main point of what we do is the same, right? So then what we do is we say, how can we go in and look at every aspect of what we do, every single thing of what we do, whether it be from the first phone call, maybe it's your website and the way that it works, maybe it's the automations of I'm going to be sending emails out to the client, letting them know. Maybe it's the billing. Maybe you only take personal checks and you don't take credit cards, or you don't take, or you're the person has to pay you in cash, which is super shady. What are the things that you do along the way? And in David Smith's mitigation business, they put down tarps all the way from the front door when they walk in the door all the way down to the basement, so that when they're going in and out, they're tracking in snow, they're tracking in mud, they're tracking in all that kind of stuff. They've got tarps there. They sweep and vacuum the basement. They clean up after themselves. Every little aspect of what you do, every bit. There's 100 different things that you can change about your business. And if you change all of them and just make them a little bit better, 1% better, then those small changes are going to equal big results. So I talked about, like, for instance, let's look at the, like, putting tarps down, right? Maybe your difference is that you spend time with the client talking about the system, what you're building, so that they understand. So they're not, in the dark about what's happening. You give them an option of, on this photo right here that we're looking at, could you have painted this pipe to match the side of the house? That's a small change that's going to equal, obviously, a big result. I know a lot of you guys do that. So what we want to do is we want to dissect every aspect of, from the moment the client first finds out that they have radon or they need to get a test, all the way to the time when the job is done. What is every little thing that we can do to make a difference and to set yourself apart from from your competition? And so we're looking at those changes. Now, all the examples that I just gave, right, are in your business. So what if you want to change your life, and you want to make some big changes, big differences in your life? Well, how about you wake up 15 minutes earlier, right? Set your alarm 15 minutes earlier. I'm not talking about waking up 2 hours earlier. I'm talking about 15 minutes. And now you have added, math here, almost 2 hours of your week that you could be doing something else. You can use that time to read. You could use that time to call a friend in the day. You could use that time to wake up earlier and take care of email that 15 minutes earlier before everybody else wakes up, and then you don't deal with it until later. So it's just 15 minutes. That's not going to change your sleep, right? That's not going to, you're not going to be, but you're going to feel like you got something else done. How about you watch 30 minutes less of TV or using social media per day? I saw a statistic just before I started this, and I didn't get it added in here. The average person watches 34 hours of TV per week. Now, you may hear that and you think that's insanity. That breaks down to like 3.5 hours a day of TV. But if you broke it down and you said, well, I have this show that I watch every week. I have this, 2 other shows I watch. I've been binge watching this other one. I watch, for me, it's football. Football season kills me because I love watching football. So Sunday, like now it feels like for the last 2 weeks, there's been something like football on, and college football, like literally every single day of the week. And so, like Monday night, not having football on was super weird. I probably actually got something done, but if you watched a football game, you're talking about a 3-hour game. If you watch a couple, you're in for 6 hours. If you give up your Sunday for it, then obviously it's a lot more. If you watch that Monday night game, you watch a college game, maybe it's hockey, maybe it's, so sports obviously do that. But it's not hard. You watched an hour of TV or half hour of TV before bed. So if you were to cut out 30 minutes out of that, we're only talking about, an extra 3.5 hours out of you're cutting out 10% of the amount of TV or maybe social media time. I am the TikTok algorithm. It was designed for me. I can sit there and scroll on that for 90 minutes and not even notice it because it's a trick, because a lot of the stuff I'm watching, I got onto woodworking TikTok, and now my algorithm shows me like stuff that I want to build and do, and things and tips and tricks and stuff, and then I'll get onto business stuff and I'll see people talking about business. I'm like, oh man, that really. So I get this sense that I am learning, so it must be okay. But I am really trying to, like, I deleted TikTok off my phone so it was harder for me to do that, right? So that's how I made that change. If you're not, exercise 10 minutes a day. If you're doing 0, take a walk. Do 25 sit-ups and 25 push-ups a day, right? Break it up. Do 10 in the morning and 10 in the afternoon and 5 before bed. Just something so that you can look back at it and go, okay, well, I did this for 30 days. I'm starting to make, a change in my life. Number one thing you could do for your body is drinking water. If coffee is your water, or pop or soda is your water, try drinking, actual water as your water, which makes a big difference. You're gonna feel better, and it's gonna change just these little tiny things that are so insignificant that they shouldn't change your day. I know you've got time that you're putzing around, and if you get up and you take a walk, or you get up and you go do that hobby thing, or you go, it's going to recharge your batteries in a way that scrolling or TV it doesn't do. And if you exercise for 10 minutes for 2 months and you feel worse, then come back and yell at me. Right? We talked about this in our goal setting. You got to make sure that you can measure your success and all of these things that you're setting for 2025. We want to make sure that you can measure it, obviously, by the day, but you want to do it by the week, the month, and the quarter. So you can look back at it and say, what did I do in these 7 days, right? What did I do in these 30 days? What did I do in these 90 days? And I think that you should get a physical, tactile calendar that you can actually mark off, right? If your thing is saying I'm going to drink 2 glasses of water, you want to have a Subway lunch punch card that you can go, I did it today. You can look back at it, because what I want you to measure it in a way that you can be proud of what you did, right? When we're talking about business things, yeah, you should be looking at your week over week, month over month, quarter over quarter. You should be looking and comparing it to last year. Okay, in quarter 1 of last year, I ran the same business. I had the same marketing. I had the same size crews. We got the same number of leads, and I did less, or I did more because I changed these things. I want you to be able to compare that. And those of you that have been in business for a while, it's nice to be able to have that data. If you're new on it, then you want to make sure that you're keeping really good records now so that you can measure that for next year. And then we want to make sure that you're, setting goals for each amount of time. So you want to start small with your goals, and that may be your goal may be, I'm going to drink 2 glasses of this size, of water per day. I'm just gonna do that, and then after I've done it for a week, and I've shown that I can do it for a week, then I'm going to see if I can do it for 30 days in a row. Then I might see if I can do it for 90 days in a row. Put as much effort into your, in some of these little goals as you do into making sure you do Wordle every day. For those of you that Wordle, it keeps track of how many days, or Duolingo is the other one that I see people that have, 200 days in a row or 1,000 days in a row of Duolingo. That if you're not doing that, that is a great thing that you can absolutely do to improve your language skills, make your mind smarter. People who live longer are also feeding their brain, and they're making their brain smarter. And that is not, going on to YouTube and going down, the rabbit hole of finding weird things. That is like literally doing a crossword puzzle. Do things that force your brain to work you were in high school and you hated high school, and your brain will hate it, but you're feeding your brain, and getting smarter. All right, let's pop to the next one here. Here we go. I think this is super important. We didn't talk about this last time we were talking about goal setting, so this is a new thing. I want you to tell a friend about the goals. We don't really have a structure for this inside of this group, but it does exist in, obviously it can exist inside of this group. It can exist in the Facebook group that we've created. But you want to have a coach, and you want to have an accountability partner, right? Accountability is king. Those of you who have tried to quit smoking or quit drinking or do something else that was really destructive to you, all of those 12-step group type places, they always have an accountability partner, having someone who has either been through the same thing and can coach you. I know that the people that are my clients, if they'll let me, then I want to see where we are, and I want to set some goals. One of the questions that I ask when you onboard with me is, let's define success. You are hiring me because either you're incapable of doing it yourself, you're not happy with the person that was doing it before, or you are looking to grow your business. And so most people hire me for that last one because, our slogan at Service Boosters, we build and grow small businesses. But I want to know if it's a dollar amount, right? So you're doing $1 million and you want to get to 1.5. Okay, well, let's break that down. Let's look at it and go, okay, this is how many calls that you have to get. If you're closing, 6 out of 10 calls, and you're getting 100 calls in a month, and you're getting 60 jobs in a month, and that's doing 1 million, then we need to get you up to 150 calls, in a month, or we need to get your closing rate from 6 to 8, right? So we can keep the same number of leads, or we need to increase the quality of the leads. We need to have less time in the windshield, so you're not driving as far to jobs. We need to hire another crew so that you can do jobs cheaper, so that the owner is not going out. Like, what are those things when we talk about your success and coaching and making sure that what we do is going to lead you to that success? But finding someone who, if you say, hey, listen, I want to work out 4 days a week, finding someone locally who's going to go work out with you, and it's going to call you when it's cold outside right now, and you don't want to go, and it's becoming the second Friday in January, and it's Quitter's Day, and you really want to quit, but you have somebody that you don't want to let down, that is the person we're looking for. Find someone who wants you to succeed as much as you do. Period. End of story. You've got to have that person in your life. If you want that to be me, I want you to succeed. If you want that to be David, he wants you to succeed. If that's somebody else in this group, we want you to succeed. Because in this industry, unlike, some of the other ones, I work with people in lawn care and landscaping and pool builders and things like that. There's no life-saving aspect to the things that they're doing, right? Maybe putting a pool in, it's probably more likely that someone will die in the pool, but I digress. The fact is that we're doing something that matters. Not everybody wants to do it. Not everybody wants to be in a crawl space. It's disgusting. It's gross. Nobody wants to be up on roofs. Nobody wants to be in an attic when it's 8,000 degrees in there. Nobody wants to be climbing on the side of a house when it's ice and snow and it's gross. And there's a lot of people who literally just don't want to do the same thing day in and day out. And you've seen one attic or crawl space, you've seen them all. But we know that the service that is being provided here is literally saving lives. And so it matters. And so I don't want you to just succeed because I want your family to be, taken care of, and I want your employees to be taken care of, and I want you to have something that you can build and has value, and you can sell it down the road when you're ready to retire. What we're doing matters, and doing it well and doing it right and doing as much of it as possible is saving lives, and we all know that. And so having those people, having someone that can coach you to success, can hold you accountable for your success and the things that you want to accomplish. It may be like last year, at the end of the year, all of my friends on Facebook were posting about how many books they read. And I had one friend that said they read 106 books last year. And my response, because I'm a sarcastic jerk, was I didn't even know there were 106 different books, right? Like, that is so insane to me but that person is not watching 34 hours of TV a week. They're not. They are reading, and I'm sure that they are getting smarter, and they are and they are more refined in their they are probably a better raconteur with their friends and family because of the books and things that they read. And so that's something I aspire to. So I want to have somebody who is, giving me the accountability to say, hey, are you reading, a book every 2 weeks, or a book, once, if you didn't read 12 books last year, then read a book a month, listen to a book on tape. That's the things that we're trying to do. So, and obviously check in with your person. And so you need to make sure that you have an accountability person that is going to, I like this, that you want somebody that's going to call you on your BS, right? Sorry, I didn't read a book this month. You had 30 days. Why not? Okay, it looks like you got to read 2 next month, right? If you're going to meet this goal. Or you're going to have to read a book every 3 weeks instead of 4. What are we going to do to get that, to read that book? Hey, you didn't meet your financial goal this month. What are we going to do to make that happen? What do you need to change to make that happen? How much TV are you watching? The thing that I have found when I am going to the gym consistently is, the gym I go to, it's a kickboxing class. I love it. It's a 45-minute class. It takes me 15 minutes to drive over there and 15 minutes to drive back. And I want to get there 10 or 15 minutes early. So it is 1 hour and 1/2. It is not a 40, they're like, oh, well, you have 45 minutes to your day. I'm like, no, it's an hour and a half. Sure, I can take a call on the way there or a call on the way back, but I am giving up an hour and a half, 90 minutes in order to make that happen. The thing that I found when I'm consistently going is somehow I reclaim more than 90 minutes of my day. I know that some people like to go, they have afternoon classes. So some people, they'll get run down, they're working, they're just, their brain is foggy, and they will change their clothes and they'll go do a class at the gym in the middle of the day. Or for those of you that are runners, pop out, run in the middle of the day. Then you come back and your head is clear. And you regain that time where you're just sitting there in a fog, or you're on your phone, or I found I sleep better, and I don't need to sleep as much when I'm consistently going to the gym. That is reclaimed time. I find that going to the gym leads me to make better food choices, because I am, I don't want to undo the work that I did at the gym by eating, crap, fast food, whatever. So now I feel better. And so we want to make sure that the things that we're doing are accomplishing the goals, but it will absolutely add time back when you're making these intentional changes. And what I said, 10 minutes ago, walk around your block. Take 10 minutes. Like this is like the first day, you don't have to devote 90 minutes to working out. You don't have to devote, I'm not saying that you should probably drink 100 ounces of water a day, but start with 30, start with 20 that you're not drinking right now. For a lot of people, it's plugging your phone in somewhere away from where you sleep so that you don't sit there and scroll on your phone for an hour before you go to bed. I'm guilty of that, 100% guilty of that. That you don't wake up in the morning and you don't get out of bed because you're scrolling through your phone, right? The most successful people that I know are not on Facebook. They are not on social media. And I don't know. I joke around. I'm like, well, what do you do with your 4 hours a day that you're not on Facebook? But I have a lot of friends that are like, they don't even, either they don't have an account or they don't spend time on social media. They're just working or spending time with family or hanging out with friends, and they're doing stuff that, is changing their life. So find a friend, have an accountability partner, or hire a coach. Invest in coach. I pay a lot of money to be part of an agency group of people who are coaches, and they will if I ignore them, they will track me down. I am paying for them to get all up in my business and make sure that I am reaching the goals that I said that I wanted, right? You guys want this stuff. I'm not trying to get you to do stuff you don't want to do. These are things you want, right? You're still here. You're still in the Zoom. You want these things. So, or you're not in the Zoom and you forgot to turn off maybe that's it. 1 ounce down. Find success. What do I mean by that? Find people who are doing what you want to be doing and then copy and paste. Find the radon guy who is running 10 crews, if that's what you want, or 3 crews, or if you are running 5 crews and you just don't like being that big, and you want to be the guy that downsizes down to just you and a truck, find that guy that's by themselves and is happy, and copy and paste it. So look for businesses and people that are doing what you want to be doing, and then do what they're doing. Again, I've listened to a ton of Dave Ramsey. One of the things that he jokes around with is, you don't want someone if you go to the gym and you want to get jacked, right? You don't find the person that weighs 600 pounds and can barely get off the couch and ask them for advice. You want to find the guy at the gym who is jacked, and you want to find and you want to follow their plan, because clearly they figured it out. If you want a good marriage, you want to find people that have a good marriage. You want to ask what they're doing and emulate that. If you want a good business, you're going to find people who are running successful businesses. If you want to sell your mitigation business in 10 years, and you want to talk about how, David Smith sold his mitigation business to his foreman, Dan, then you want to talk to him and see about how that was structured and how that was set up, and what would he do differently if he did it again, right? Because we're not all doing these things, perfect the first time. If I want to find somebody who is, look at what I do, right? I not only am I building websites, but one of the services that I provide is I'm ranking websites at the top of Google, and in the map pack and in organic, and we're running ads and stuff like that for our clients. I am looking, every time Google makes a change, I am looking for the agencies that are literally billion-dollar agencies, and I'm watching what they're doing, right? And again, I'm paying to be in a group of people who are doing this at an incredible level, so that I can take that back and use it for you guys. And so I am trying to copy and paste. And then again, I look at my friends and I go, hey, listen, you're killing it. What are you doing? I have, I said friends that are not on Facebook. I have business owners that are on Facebook purely for the connections that they make. They are going in and they are interacting with their clients to build the relationship, and they're only interacting with clients. I know people who are spending time on LinkedIn. Are you, as mitigators and radon testers, are you going to real estate events? Are you a member of your local realtor association? Pay those dues. Be in the go to the meetings, pass out, bring cookies, pass out things, send thank you letters, do those things that those people are doing. And then surround yourself with people who want to thrive, not just survive. I have 2 kids in high school. I've got a daughter in middle school. And my constant thing that I am telling them is surround yourself with the people that you want to be. Surround yourself with the people that you want to be. And that should not end when you are in high school. That should not end when you get out of that out of middle school. Do not, if you want to be a loser, hang out with losers. Make losers your the people that are around. But if you want to be with people who are successful, if you want to be successful, find people who are successful and spend time with them. I think that those of you who are on Facebook, are in the Zoom, that are coming here week after week, that are joining us, you are surrounding yourself with people who are successful. Many of you are really successful, and it is having people that are around you that it's osmosis. You're going to soak that in, and it should fire you up too. Go to your local, ARST meeting. Go to your stakeholder meeting. Go to the national meetings. Go to everything that you. So I was talking with Jim Emanuel this week or last week, and we're talking about the Chicago stakeholder meeting that's going to come up here in March. I hope I see a lot of you guys at that one. I'll be at that one. I'll be speaking at that one. But the thing I said to Jim is, no matter what the industry that I've ever been in, I learn more in the hallways than I do in the classroom. And that is literally after I said I'm going to, give a seminar there. The conversations that happen as you're breaking bread with someone, as you're grabbing a coffee with someone, as you go and I know Daryl has the bowling nights and the thing and the fun nights and the stuff. Those conversations, that should fill you up. That should fill your cup up all the way. Your brain should hurt when you're done. Don't just, talk about the weather. Take that opportunity to seek out people who are doing what you want to do and just extract as much information, and then be open. Ask them to talk to you. Ask them to ask questions about what you're doing. Things, what are your blind spots in your business that you don't know about, or you shouldn't be, or things that you should be thinking about that you're not thinking about. I said this: be the kind of person that people want to be around, right? So this is one of those hard truths where I make you feel uncomfortable. That's my goal here. If I'm gonna, as the person with the microphone, I'm gonna be the one that's challenging you here. In every industry that I have ever been in every time I go to national meetings, including national radon meetings, local radon meetings, whether I'm in literally in any industry. This is not unique to radon. There are always going to be people who are just straight up toxic. There are people who like drama. They are people who like to spread rumors. They are people who want to tear down instead of lift up. And those people are leeches who will come and they will attach onto you, and they want you to, their life is miserable and they want you to be miserable as well. And they want to stir up controversy and they want to stir up drama. And again, this is not just in the radon industry. I've seen this literally in every industry that I've ever been a part of. There are just some people who are miserable, and they're everywhere. Don't be that person. Like, I know it's hard to acknowledge because people who they lie to themselves so frequently that they think it's the truth. But if you could take a real stock, and I mean, imagine actually asking some people who are really successful and that are really great people, if they thought you're that kind of person, would you be prepared for the answer that they gave you? But if you are that person, or even if you're in the middle, be the kind of person that you want to seek out in the bullet point above this, which is surround yourself with people that want to thrive. Or the bullet point above that, the people that are doing what you want to be doing. Be that person. Strive to be that person. And that may mean that you talk to everybody and not just the people that you like. Maybe that's showing kindness. Maybe that's when you see, this is the putting the cart back at the grocery store, right? Are you the person that leaves the cart by your car or just props it up I said that you can tell more about a person based on how they put their cart back at the grocery store than, any other thing in their lives. And so be that person. And when we're don't be the person that's spreading rumors. Don't be that, like, that is going to tear you and it's going to keep you from real success. And so if everything I've said today came down to this slide, find the people that are doing what you want to do and do that. In every aspect of what you're doing, if you write down goals, if you have things that you want to change, if you want to be more organized, find people that are more organized. Ask them how they do it. And look at the things that what are the little tricks that that they have that make them successful. And then copy and paste, right? So there are 357 days left in this year. What are you going to do with them? It's a lot of days. Last time I did this, there weren't as many days. Most of you kids, if you got school age kids, they're going back to school. Things are back up. People are ready to get back and do commerce. I am watching your leads coming in. Those of you who work with me, I am seeing the uptick. We've gotten past the panic of the last 2 weeks of December where nobody wanted to do anything and everyone wondered if they were ever going to work again. We're past that and we're starting to see the business come in. So, if you need to wait until the day after quitting day on Friday, if Saturday could be your first day, do that. But what are you going to accomplish this month? What is that? If you've never accomplished a goal, make the simplest goal you've ever made in your life. I want to lose 1 pound in January, right? I want to lose 2 pounds in the next 23 days. That's not out of, I'm going to, if you are somebody who drinks, 3 Cokes a day, take it down to 1, right? What is that one thing that you can take it down to 2? If you are putting a pound of creamer and sugar into your coffee, back it off a little bit. Like, find something that you can do that you're going to lose 1 pound by the end I'm going to walk a little bit more. And, run it by some people that have had success. I was looking back at my Facebook memories from like 7 years ago when I wanted to meet a goal before a big birthday, and I wanted to lose a bunch of weight. And I went to the gym I went 6 days a week. I was stronger, felt great. And I did that for 3 months, and I didn't lose a single pound, not a single pound. Felt great. Didn't lose a single pound. And what I wanted was this perfect world of eating exactly the same and not changing anything about my diet, sticking with the pizza and chicken wing diet, right? But also working out. That did not work. And so, having that conversation with people who knew how, hey, you've got the workout thing down. You got to change this other thing. You got to change what's going into. You can't outrun pizza. And I've tried. So that is the thing that, you got to set obtainable goals. And if you don't hit them, having that accountability, having a coach, having people that are doing what you want to do that can really dissect what you're doing, and if you're doing something wrong, is good. But having those little tiny 1% changes, you're gonna feel those over some time, and it's gonna be, it's gonna feel good. So, as always, there's only a couple of us left in the Zoom room. I know that a lot of you are going to end up watching this later. I see that we've got some people on Facebook. We've got some people on that are watching this on YouTube. You're going to watch us later. Jump in the chat on the Facebook on this thread here, and announce your goals. Put it out there. Put it out in the world. Say, I am doing this, and my business has made $200,000 for the last 3 years, and I want to do $250 this year, right? Or I want to go a 50% increase. I want to go to 300,000, or I want to, I had a 9% profit, and I want to make it 11. Okay, so these are some real goals. But hey, if you're on Facebook now. I know Tim's still here, Pat's still here. If you have something that you want to throw out into the world, and next week or next month we're on the chat, and we say, hey, how's that thing coming? What's going to happen is, those of you who are watching from the sidelines and are not willing to put this out there and to do, like, this is not easy. It feels embarrassing, right? It feels difficult to say these things out loud, because you think that you're being judged, or you think what really happens is something changes inside of your brain, where you're willing to say, I'm going to make this a real thing, and say, I'm going to get to this next level, and I'm going to do it with the help of the people who actively want me to win, right? And so by putting those things out there, throwing it in the chat, throwing it in the on the Facebook thread, on this video, throwing it on the YouTube thing. The Facebook group's private, guys. It's private. These on YouTube, it's those comments are public, but the Facebook group is private. Your clients are not going to see that. Your customers are not going to see it. Your friends are not going to see it. This is a spot where you can, make a friend in the group and become friends with them on Facebook and send them send me a private message. And get to a point where you've got somebody that has nothing to lose to hold you accountable, right? Sometimes when you have a close friend as your accountability person, they don't want to call you on your BS because they're afraid that you might not, like them after you. And really, that's on you. If you're, if you're going to lose a friendship over someone who's trying to help you, then again, maybe I should go back a few slides. Be that person that you want to be with. So, we're at 4:15 Central Standard Time. I know some of you, it's like 1 a.m, right, Pat? It's like, I don't know what time it. I saw the, if you saw my email I sent out today, I said, it's 4 hours from now. Look at whatever time you got this email. I have, who is it? Lawrence, out in Oregon. Lawrence caught me at Arston. He's like, dude, we're not on, daylight savings time. I'm like, if I try to keep track of all of your different times, I can't. I just can't keep track of your times. I can't. David and I can't even keep track of what time we're doing this thing, let alone, all of your different time zones. So, you can go in and add it to your calendar from the link and hopefully get it on there. So that's it. What do you think, Pat?
I'm 4 hours behind you. 1 o'clock.
You're 4 hours. Perfect.
Yeah.
So wait,
Oregon's 3 hours.
If I said it was happening in 4 hours, does that mean that it happened 4 hours ago when I sent it, and now we're time traveling? This is.
I do about 8 hours a week of Zoom calls with the boards I'm on and stuff, and there's guys all over the world. I feel sorry for the Australians, and we'll have a noon meeting, and they're like 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
Oh yeah,
I feel bad for them.
Well, and I'll tell you, you've if those of you who have been watching these, and I talk about ways to, improve your business and in some cases cut costs. We live in a global economy, and to not take advantage of some really talented people who are on the other side of the world that speak fluent English and can do a job that you might pay someone stateside, $30 or $40 an hour, or $20 an hour, or $25 an hour. You can find people that can do those jobs for $7 to $12 an hour, and they're phenomenal. But you have to work, around, like, they're all asleep right now. So most of them are waking up. So I absolutely have employees all over the world, partially by choice and partially because my head web designer is just a literal nomad. He refuses to stay in the same place, and so he doesn't have kids and goes literally all over the world. I have a screen in my office here that, like where, all like where's the president, what time is he's in, and all the different time zones. I have a clock that just tells me what time it is. It's Jordan Standard Time, because, and I change it. He's a young guy that likes he works really hard, but he also likes to check out all the different cultures and likes it where beer is relatively cheap. So he'll be like, "Yep, I'm in Thailand for the next 3 weeks." I'm like, hope the internet's good. And like, well, we're talking on it right now. Like, so, I mean, we talk on it and it's clearer than it is with, in this Zoom right now. And so, yeah, in the last 5 years, I mean, he's been with me for at least 5 years. He's been to Thailand. Oh man, he's been to Mexico, South America. He told me he wants to go to North Korea, and I'm like, that is not okay.
No.
I'm like, he's like, yeah, he's like, they'll allow like tourists to come in. I'm like, yes, and then they don't leave. I'm like, dude, you have all the passwords. Can you not like,
Does he like
not do that?
does he like hot dogs?
Probably. I don't know.
Kim Jong Un, little rocket man, he banned hot dogs yesterday or day before or something in North Korea.
That's hilarious. That's
If you
hilarious.
like
Yeah,
hot dogs,
no.
I'm going there.
No, and it's funny because he's like, he goes, yeah, I've always wanted to do, to go on Route 66. And I'm like, well, you know that goes past my house, like literally past my house. Like it's like right there. And he goes, oh no, like, yes, you are going to like, you are in New Zealand right now and you're going to like swing past my house. And so, yeah, he's, he goes all over, but again, find talent and sometimes you can save some money with that, and allows you to, that may be a way to increase your profits, right? You can find, I know a lot of agency owners like mine use people in South America because it's the same time zone. And so they are looking for people who are fluent English speakers, and they're answering phones, they're doing tasks, they're doing stuff like that. And so you can have, I've seen some of the emails that some of you guys are writing, and having someone where English is their third or fourth language may be an improvement for some of you. And so it's to interact with your clients, it wouldn't be a bad thing. So don't discount that as an option. And I can help you. I can help you do. But again, there are people that can do your bookkeeping and enter in QuickBooks and send out invoices and send emails and do all that and make sure stuff is ordered and do your reports and like it's for $7 to $12 an hour. And so like that's a real thing that is an option, and it's, and I imagine it's, daunting to think about that, but it's a real option. It was weird for me to do it. But in the age of Zoom, it just isn't anymore. If, when I had an office and employees inside the office, if they didn't come to work, I'm iMessaging them anyway. So, half my employees have iPhones. It's the same, like iMessage to them as it is to my wife and kids in the other room. Right. So, yeah, that's it. So,
I'm an Android guy, so.
Well, there's your first problem. Right? So, well, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to keep everybody here much longer. I think people are dropping off on the Facebook group because it's about that time. But
I gotta get busy.
Yeah, let's come back next week. I know that David's trying to get possibly another guest for next week. And then 2 weeks from now, we're going to see Daryl pop in and tell us about how he is going to hire people to sit in attics and attend the fans. They're going to just sit around and watch that fan. I mean, doesn't that mean I could put a camera up there and have the fan with a security camera attending the fan? Like, I'm always one to fight back and push back on the semantics of really poorly written laws. Yeah. But I'm also an ask forgiveness instead of permission person, and you don't get to do that when a license is on the line. So it's a little different when it's like, oh, I'm just going to go and cut down that tree I wasn't supposed to, or do some work on my fence or whatever. That is it's different when we're talking about losing your license and staying. So we want to uphold the laws, but I'm okay with making sure that they all make sense. So
yep.
All right. Anything else, Pat? We're good?
Good. It's only 1:00 here. I gotta get to work. Well, it's
yeah.
almost 1:30.
Let's start our day. All right, guys, it's been fun. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that this year, 356 days from now, we are looking at it as some really big changes happen for everybody, including myself. And I really we've got work to do. So let's go hit it. Thanks for joining today. We'll see you.
All right. See you later.
See ya.